There's an art to making really good gluten-free dishes, and my friend Helen is here to show us that you can do it. You're going to be making Greek Loukamades, Greek donuts.
One of the most iconic Mediterranean desserts, I think. The reason I developed this recipe is people kept writing to me and saying, I want to make gluten-free Loukamades, but they turn into a soggy mess every time I replace my regular flour with gluten-free flour. So the trick here, Juzzy, is to add some corn flour. It draws out the moisture and keeps them nice and crunchy on the outside and fluffy on the inside.
I feel like you're more of a scientist than a cook because there's such a science behind it. So let's get started.
Yep, so we're going to start with some gluten-free flour. So you can just pick this up from the supermarket, a plain flour.
Okay.
And Juzzy, I might get you to add the corn flour. So like I said, the corn flour is going to draw out the moisture. It's going to keep them nice and crunchy. And to that, we're going to add our yeast. So just 7 grams here, nice dry yeast. Give it a mix. And we're going to add 2 teaspoons of caster sugar. So that sugar's going to feed the yeast.
Right.
So that's basically it for the dry ingredients. Just mix them, create a little spot in the middle, and I'll pour in the water. And you can just whisk that in at the same time to create our batter.
Okay. I love how you take recipes that usually are heavy in classic flours and then transform them so everyone can enjoy it. You've even done a brand new book, Gluten-Free Mediterranean. And what other recipes do we see in there?
So the book's got all the iconic dishes, you know, everything that people have missed out on since they've gone gluten-free. So, you know, you've got your Loukamades, you've got all your classic breads, your focaccias, your pastas. You know, you don't want anyone to miss out at the dinner table, especially during festive occasions. And everyone's got an auntie, a niece, a cousin who's gone gluten-free, and they're like, oh, I'm not quite sure how to make those classic, iconic recipes. So I've covered them all in this book, and Loukamades is definitely one of them.
There was one recipe I saw in there that I can't wait to make, halloumi bread. So good.
Who doesn't love a cheesy bread?
I love cheesy bread, that's so nice. All right, so that's done.
That's great. So all we need to do now is rest that dough for 2 hours. So we want to get really bubbly and airy and fluffy. So we'll cover that with some cling wrap and we'll rest it for 2 hours and we'll come back to it.
Sounds good. Wow, Helen, this is incredible how much it's bubbling and doubled in size. Look at that.
It's really light and airy, and that's exactly what we want. And so we're going to get a light and fluffy donut out of that.
What do they say when dough's like this? Like, it's alive.
Certainly alive. So before I scoop it out, what I want to do is dip my tablespoon in the oil so that the dough doesn't stick to the spoon.
Good idea.
And Juzzy, all we do is just grab a little bit of dough and then just drop it straight into the fry pan. And hear that sizzle? You know the oil's ready? So we're just going to add a few more. You don't want to overcrowd the pan here because if you overcrowd it, then you know, it's going to drop the temperature of the oil. Maybe like 4 or 5 in here, and we'll just keep going.
Fantastic.
Justine, they look ready to me. They're golden and crispy.
So good. Look at that. Love them. And straight into a bowl.
Straight into bowl, and what we're going to do is dress them straight in the bowl. So you want to basically smash them with honey while they're nice and hot so the honey sticks to the donut. And then we're going to dress them with walnuts and cinnamon today. So that's like a really classic, iconic combination, the walnuts and cinnamon. But, you know, you could use like pistachios here, sesame. Some people like to dress them with Nutella, salted caramel, like, you know, if you want a really kind of modern version.
No, I like this classic Greek style with the nuts and the cinnamon and the honey. And the way that the donuts have come straight out of the oil and you've just poured honey onto them, so automatically that heats up. They're really sticky. Oh,
just
I love
a good
this.
toss, Justine.
This is the best part, just giving them a bit of a toss, grabbing a spoon. Oh, look at that.
How sticky and sweet they are. Well, they can go straight into our serving platter. And when you get them in there, I'm going to give them an extra little sprinkling of walnut.
In true Greek style, it's generous.
Yeah, Greek cooking is all about generosity. You know, when you put this on the table at the end of a family dinner or lunch, everyone just grabs a piece, you know, no plates necessary, you just grab it with your hands and tuck in.
Piping hot.
Oh, very, very hot. Oh, look at that, isn't that delicious? And some more walnuts. Juzzy, get in there, have a taste.
Yes. This one's got my name on it. I love the classic Loukamades, but the fact that you can now do them gluten-free and they taste just as good is what it's all about. Genius, Helen, genius.
Excellent.